Alan stood on the deck of the cargo ship, gazing out at the endless sea, filled with anticipation and tension. Since he had rejoined forces with the old captain, this cargo ship had become the vessel for their dreams. The old captain skillfully directed the crew and adjusted the equipment, while Alan learned how to manage the shipping operations, gradually adapting to this new role. However, as the voyage progressed, the sky began to darken, thick clouds gathered, and the waves grew increasingly turbulent. The old captain's brow furrowed. He realized that a storm was imminent. He immediately called the crew together to reinforce the ship and prepare for the approaching tempest. "Everyone, pay attention. A storm is coming. Stay alert." The old captain's voice echoed on the deck, and the crew quickly sprang into action, a tense atmosphere enveloping the entire ship. Although Alan felt anxious, he also sensed an unprecedented sense of responsibility. He worked hard to help the crew secure the cargo and ensure everything was safe. The storm finally arrived, with howling winds and waves crashing against the ship like wild beasts. Water splashed across the deck, and the ship rocked violently. Alan gripped the railing tightly, silently reciting the methods the old captain had taught him to cope with such situations. The old captain remained calm, directing the crew to respond to the emergencies and striving to keep the ship steady. However, the power of the storm exceeded their expectations, with massive waves repeatedly slamming into the hull. Alan could feel the ship shuddering violently. Just then, the ship's alarm suddenly went off, and water began flooding the cabin, causing the crew's faces to pale instantly. "Quick! Prepare to abandon ship," the old captain ordered decisively. Although he was reluctant, he knew he had to protect everyone's life at that moment. The crew quickly donned their life jackets and rushed toward the lifeboats. Alan's heart sank. He couldn't believe that the business he had worked so hard to build was about to vanish in this storm. As the water level continued to rise, Alan was forced to move toward the lifeboats along with the crew. Just as he was about to jump into the sea, a massive wave suddenly struck, knocking him aside and sending him crashing onto the deck. Losing consciousness, he drifted on the tumultuous sea until he was washed up on a desolate island. When Alan woke up, he found the surroundings eerily quiet, with only the sound of gentle waves lapping at the shore. He lifted his head and saw the blue sky and sunlight shining on the beach, but his heart was filled with confusion and helplessness. Alan knew he had to survive on this deserted island and find a way back home.